Hello there.
Hi there.
We are back again after last week, our top 10 movies of 2025, and we've moved on to 2026.
It's a brand new year.
And we've been watching some 2026 movies, but now that's our main focus.
And there's not too many new ones to pick from so far, are there?
No, we're still early in the year, but we've still watched quite a few movies. We watched 3 new releases this week.
Now, is there a certain point or time in the year where it really starts ramping up with those new releases? Is that like summertime?
I feel like big blockbusters are summertime,
Sure.
and then our Oscar movies.
Is there like an indie movie season?
That's gonna probably be more like the fall, winter, the Oscar bait season.
Okay, sure.
Because you want to drop your movie closer to the Oscars so that people don't forget about it.
Makes sense.
But a lot of film festivals, especially like Sundance Film Festival, I mean, that already happened. So that's the beginning of the year. Cannes Film Festival's coming up. So film festivals, they kind of happen all over.
Okay.
That's where a lot of those indie movies wind up.
I would love to go to a film festival.
Me too.
Can you imagine?
Like to go to Sundance. South by Southwest is in Texas. Toronto.
That's probably the most reasonable. Or Toronto, I
could
suppose.
Probably get into Toronto. There's a Nashville Film Festival. There's a New York Film Festival. Pretty much every major city has a film festival, but there are bigger ones that bigger directors and filmmakers wind up going to.
Okay.
But anyway,
Start us out,
three
yeah.
movies that we're watching this week, I would have to fact check, but they don't feel like festival movies to me.
Hey, you never know.
Of course, I do think our second one did open up the South by Southwest Film Festival, so maybe I'm wrong.
Cool.
But the first movie we watched was Crime 101. Now, Crime 101, I did have some hope for when I first realized who the director was. So this director is Bart Layton, and he directed this really great documentary called The Imposter. That's one of my favorite true crime documentaries. It's so well made. It's so edge of your seat thriller almost.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
And I know he did a movie called American Animals with Barry Keoghan and Evan Peters that was kind of a melding of documentary and narrative film.
Interesting.
But I never watched that one, but I've heard really good things, so I do want to watch it. But this movie didn't really live up to my expectations that I had of this filmmaker. I actually thought a lot of the filmmaking here wasn't very cohesive. I thought a lot of the shots were strange, and sometimes I felt like I was watching 2 or 3 different movies. Plus, this thing was almost 2.5 hours. That's just unnecessary.
Yes, for running so long, it didn't really tell us much. I wasn't sure if this movie was trying to be like an action movie, a heist movie, a drama, or like a romantic drama at some point. It was kind of all over the place. I was not sure what to make of it all.
It felt like they were trying to focus on too many characters, which is probably a symptom of this being based on a novella.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's kind of hard to...
Some things should just remain as books. Not everything needs to be developed because it just does not translate to screen very well, you know?
I agree.
Or give some voiceovers or something.
Yeah, especially here, we had a lot of characters just staring off out the window or in the distance. And it's obvious they're thinking about something, but we just kind of see them brooding and staring. Whereas I'm sure in the book, different chapters probably cover different characters' POV.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you really get into what's going on in their head.
This might have worked better as a show or like a mini-series.
Yeah, whereas here you're just kind of relying on what's the actor's face look like. That'll tell me what they're thinking, which all of these actors were really good, so the acting wasn't my problem. It's just when you have 2.5 hours of that, it gets pretty boring.
They gave Chris Hemsworth nothing to do.
I'm not the biggest Chris Hemsworth fan. I don't dislike him. He seems like a nice guy.
I like Thor.
I think Maybe I've just never seen him in a role that I was really impressed with. But he is good at Thor, yeah.
Have you ever seen I think it's the J.J. Abrams Star Trek remake?
No.
The first one. So in the beginning of this scene, there's an opening scene where it's like Captain Kirk's like dad, played by Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
He dies early on, spoiler alert, I guess. And he gives actually a really good performance. It'd be interesting. You should watch that scene at some point.
Interesting.
And it's only like a couple minutes, but
Okay.
the guy can act. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I guess I'm just used to seeing him play Thor, which he's very charming and charismatic, but then you see him in real life and it's like, oh, well, he's charming and charismatic. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see him do something that really shows a lot of range. And this, again, none of the actors did a bad job, but it was just a lot of staring out and brooding. You mentioned at one point while we were watching this movie that it felt like they were going for The Accountant with Ben Affleck.
It really was giving me, discount The Accountant vibes, trying to rehash it as a new story with the same kind of elements, and it just was not working.
I surprisingly did like The Accountant 2. I've never seen The Accountant 1.
Yeah.
But I did think Ben Affleck did a great job in that role, and that character was very defined throughout. This character, we got some scenes where you got to see more of his personality and how he's different from other people, mainly in the scenes where he's trying to date.
Yes.
Which I'm not 100% sure why this man was trying to date. Maybe he was lonely. They did show a scene of him with a escort. I don't know what the purpose of that was.
Yeah, I guess it was, you're right, trying to show some more detail on this character. He's just like an awkward, lonely guy. His thing throughout the movie, he doesn't like want to make eye contact with kind of anyone, it seems like.
I feel like that awkward characterization, though, kind of ends up getting thrown out the window whenever he starts doing those action sequences.
Sure.
And again, I don't think that's Chris Hemsworth's fault. I think that's more so what's in the script, most likely. But yeah, that is my biggest problem with this movie, is it didn't feel cohesive.
My first gripe, I started seeing this early on, and we see it a couple times, is either Thor or Barry Keoghan are like pulling off a heist, like stealing something, running out of like the bank or the jewelry store, getting in their vehicle. Like Chris Hemsworth gets in his car, no one's around, the police have not been called, the alarm is not set off. He is tearing ass through the street. He is drifting around corners, just gunning it, like weaving through cars. I'm like, dude, just act normal. You're drawing attention to yourself. And I think Barry does that all over again, riding his little motorcycle all over the place.
Barry Keoghan was probably my favorite part of this movie.
I kind of think so as well.
He wasn't a major focus.
He was a bit of a menace.
He was an unhinged menace.
I feel
love
like
an unhinged menace.
He can pull it off because, I don't know, maybe he is an unhinged menace.
I don't know the man, but...
Neither do I.
It felt like he was in a different movie than everyone else.
It kind of did, actually, now that you mention it. Yeah.
Which, again, goes back to my point that I didn't find this movie cohesive.
Yeah, that's an interesting view. It was a stark contrast between what he was giving and what Hemsworth was giving in their interactions, you know?
Yeah.
I almost wanted to see more of that play out, kind of see where that relationship would go. We get a few too many viewpoints throughout, and like you said, it just kind of keeps jumping around. It's not just cohesive, and all the while it's taking so long to get nowhere.
Yeah, and again, like the most interesting character was Barry Keoghan, but he probably had the smallest amount of runtime as far as our viewpoint characters go. Because we haven't talked about them really yet. Mark Ruffalo is one, and then Halle Berry is another. I still don't fully know how Halle Berry really mattered to the main plot.
At the end of the day, I don't think she really,
I think she was just kind of a plot device and a foil, really, which is a shame because
It's
It's
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Give her something to do.
Yeah, give her something to do. She has an Oscar.
You're right. Like, no one was giving a bad performance, but I don't think these actors were used to their full potential.
Yeah, because these are some top tier actors. And then Mark Ruffalo just kind of played the sad sack cop. There was one scene in particular, I turned to you and I said, I'm pretty sure this exact same scene was in Task.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, he's played this same kind of role a couple times now, at least.
Yeah, and I love Mark Ruffalo, but I love when he gets to be a little weirder, like in
Yeah.
Poor Things, in Mickey
Absolutely.
17.
Yeah. That's where he shines, because Mark Ruffalo is a lot of fun, but he gets put in such, like...
Wet blanket.
Yeah, like drab roles. And he pulls it off really well. He is Hulk. Let him smash. But yeah, I overall didn't find this movie very enjoyable. It had the potential kind of showing or showcasing the kind of like Chris Hemsworth as this master thief and how he's setting up heists and things. We get some insight. I almost would have loved a montage scene of him like maybe doing his like heists and robberies down the 101 highway, the crime 101 the name is based off of.
A cool montage to a fun song would have made this movie so much more entertaining.
What would have been a good montage song for this movie?
Oh, damn, I don't know. What do you think? I feel like whatever the song would be more in the old man rock genre.
Oh,
and
I'm
that's
going
yours.
complete opposite. I want Chris Hemsworth bopping around, robbing jewelry stores to some Break the Rules by Charlie XCX. And
Oops, I did it again.
Just having a great time at being a little giant Australian gremlin and doing jewel heists. That's fun. This movie wasn't fun. It had the potential to be.
It was not fun. It's like it brushed over all of the stuff that was supposed to be fun.
They almost were hinting at Mark Ruffalo is doing this sort of cat and mouse game with Chris Hemsworth as far as like they're onto each other and he's tracking down this guy doing these crimes and trying to get closer. But then it kind of played out. They ended up liking each other and he just kind of lets him go.
Yeah.
All while also, Mark Ruffalo, you're suspended that whole time. You're getting fired.
Which he essentially did the exact same thing in Task.
He did, didn't he?
And an interesting plot point that they brought up was that I guess Mark Ruffalo is the only good cop. All of the other cops, they're lying. They're covering up for another one of the cops when he shoots someone who shouldn't have been shot.
Oh, yeah, and then plants a gun on him.
Yeah, and I think the point of that was to say, look, Mark Ruffalo's riling everyone up, so now the cops are scared of this dangerous thief, but like that cop should be better trained to not just make a snap decision like that because what, you're scared?
He's running away. Better shoot him.
And then they never really resolved any of that.
No, they didn't.
They just left it with, well,
another
Mark
day.
Ruffalo was suspended, and maybe he's got something going on with Halle Berry now. Because
I don't know why they kept giving weird hints on things.
He gets separated from his wife, and his wife is played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, but she's in like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the purpose of that was. Because I know they wanted to make him single because he was kind of having some chemistry with Halle Berry, but...
Then they tried to give Chris Hemsworth a girlfriend kind of throughout, but I don't know what she saw in him because he's treating her like dog shit the whole time and really not even being there.
All the red flags.
Yeah, the first day she's like,
over.
She's like, I'm getting all the red flags, but you're hot, so whatever, I'll smash.
I think if a guy who were less attractive than Chris Hemsworth had been treating a woman like that, it would not have gone on that long.
No, they'd be like, sir, you are a serial killer. I am not going home with you.
Oh, yeah. I would have absolutely thought that man was going to kill me if I went into that apartment.
But yeah, I think I said when we finished that movie, it was just sort of a nothing burger. And I'm going to give it this like a 15 58%. Well, it had some potential, but this should have been like a mini series or something. Thumbs down, not worth the hype. Don't watch it.
I agree. It did have a lot of missed potential, and I think movies like that make me angrier than movies that are just straight up bad.
It was kind of boring. Yeah, just boring movies are the worst.
Yeah, because it's like this could have been really great with some tweaks or some script editing or some more cohesion. That's my big word for this movie is cohesion.
Absolutely.
And it didn't need to be 2.5 hours long.
No movie needs to be 2.5 hours long. That is ridiculous.
I agree. It just feels very
I ain't
egotistical
got the time.
every time a movie is over long and doesn't really feel worth it. I think the last movie that was over 2.5 hours or close to 2.5 hours, I don't remember the exact runtime, that I watched that I felt was worth it was Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay. I don't even know.
But yeah, this movie, not for me. I'm probably going to forget about it in a couple days. Honestly, we only watched this movie like 3 days ago, and I don't remember a ton of the plot points.
None of it mattered, really.
Because
They pinned it all on Barry Keoghan after he got killed on accident. The whole time Chris Hemsworth is like, I'm really against violence, though I carry this gun with me and am like keeping people hostage at times. It was kind of all over the place. This movie did not know what it wanted to be.
it didn't make me feel anything, so that just makes it forgettable to me. I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to give it a straight up 50%.
Yeah.
And our Rotten Tomatoes score is 89%.
Ew.
That is way too high. I'm offended by that number.
The people are wrong.
Well, that's the critics. The people gave it an 85%.
They're both wrong.
They're both wrong, I agree.
There are much better movies. Don't waste your time on this one.
It's too long.
If you're a
not
giant
fun.
Hemsworth fan, hey, go for it. He's all over this.
I didn't like it. Not worth the hype.
Not at all. Skip this one. What do we got next?
Our next movie was Mike and Nick and Alice, which was a Hulu movie. This is the one that I'm pretty sure headlined South by Southwest. And it's another kind of action-y movie. Of course, this one had more of a comedic tone than Crime 101. We really had a bit of an action movie weekend.
We really did. I was not sure what this movie was going for exactly. I realized we're like a third of the way through, and I finally figured out how to enjoy this movie, and that's just don't take any of it seriously. We start out with James Marsden and Vince Vaughn are these kind of
like gangster assassins.
Yeah, kind of guys. And I'm thinking it was going to be sort of a, I don't know, mob drama, something like that. Crime flick. No, we pivot hard into the science fiction, and future Vince Vaughn is here. They start fighting. This was Vince Vaughn's Sinners.
I suppose it was. We start with our boy Jean Ralphio. He's singing, he's dancing, he's having a grand old time, and he gets murdered in the cold open. So a little bit of the beginnings, kind of like, okay, what's that have to do with the plot? Like, who murdered him? What's going on there? Well, it's a whole time travel situation. He built a time machine, and Vince Vaughn from the future accidentally, well, maybe not accidentally, but I don't think he intended to kill him, but it happened because he randomly came out of the time machine and got a gun pointed at him. Vince Vaughn is essentially time traveling because he feels bad for ratting out James Marsden to their gangster boss, who is Keith David, who we love. And he ratted out James Marsden because James Marsden's been having an affair with Vince Vaughn's wife. But now he feels bad that James Marsden got killed, so he's going back in time. He's gonna stop it. I feel like, if anything, instead of trying to stop them from killing James Marsden, wouldn't you go back in time and stop yourself from even telling your boss that it was James Marsden. That seems like it would get to the root of the issue a lot better.
You would think, yes. He seemed not to want to confront himself directly, I guess. He tries to
Well,
get James Marsden to chloroform his like present self.
but then he ends up talking to him and hanging out with him, and that's why there's two Nicks in the title. So it's not like he can't. He should have just gone to the root of the issue, and then none of this would have happened.
That is a fair assessment, yes. Yes, I realized just it kind of accept it. It's sort of silly, but they have this. It just turns sort of into a shoot 'em up flick that gets kind of ridiculous towards the end. And I don't think you're supposed to think too hard on the story or any of that, and just kind of sit back and enjoy, have some fun, and had some comedic moments.
Tonally, this reminded me of The Wrecking Crew that we watched earlier this
Yes,
year.
exactly.
Except I did like The Wrecking Crew more than this.
Fair. I think I did as well.
I think when this movie tried to be funny, I just didn't think it was very funny. I think that the writing or the direction or something, whoever I don't think has ever met or talked to or interacted with a woman ever in their lives. Because our pretty much only relevant female character is Alice. And I don't think that's Isa Gonzalez's fault. Again, I just think she was doing the best with the script that she had.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
They kind of throw her a bone at the very end. She does get to shoot the bad guy, but it's kind of played off as an accident almost.
And then we had a sort of side story with the like main bad's like son has like just gotten out of prison. He's like the mob boss's son. So the whole premise is they're throwing like a welcome back party for him, and then at the end of the movie, that's where James Marsden and Vince Vaughn and all are shooting up kind of like the mob party.
Yeah, and Vince Vaughn told his boss that it was James Marsden who gave up his son and therefore sent him to jail. But yeah, we just randomly cut to the son partying with drugs and sex workers and his buddy, who I believe was called Dumbass Tony.
My favorite scene in this movie. It immediately catapulted my approval rating of it way up when you get the rap boys just partying and doing drugs all over the place. You've got the guy bench pressing with another guy.
Roid Rage Ryan.
Roid Rage Ryan. And then there's a guy doing blow off the bench press bar. Hilarious. It just kind of got really funny and not quite slapsticky, but just sort of, I felt like elements of that. I thought it was funny when the son is trying to like fight back and try to shoot like Vince Vaughn, and he shoots out a window and jumps through it dramatically. But you can't jump through glass because he gets just stabbed through the neck with glass. And they're like, well, we didn't make him do that.
I wish that when this movie was being comedic, it almost had more of that comedic tone, because I did think those were the funniest bits when they were poking fun at these frat boys. Whereas when we're with our main quartet, the jokes are like, what, they're sitting around arguing about Gilmore Girls for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And at first it was just kind of silly and fun, but then it kept going on and on. I don't know why we focused on some scenes that didn't do anything.
I don't know what they did to that cat.
Yeah, it didn't add anything. The cat
They shouldn't have animated over the cat.
It was like they somehow digitized the cat or maybe modeled it off of a cat, but something didn't look right with it. I thought it was AI.
There were
I think this whole
credited.
movie may have been AI.
Yeah, I thought it was AI too, but then there were cats credited at the end of the movie. So I figure maybe it was a Superman situation where they had cats and then like animated over top of them, which I hate.
So. It just felt like things in this movie were kind of like stitched together. You know, roll the dice, mob flick, with time travel, make it a shoot 'em up, and James Marsden's running around.
And then it's like a frat party movie too.
Yeah. That being said, when I accepted just, hey, don't take this too seriously, just sit back and enjoy, I did like it a whole lot more. The acting was funny. Like you said, the kind of funny banter, I wish we would have had more of that, because all these actors really have like that just good timing down as far as, like I said, the fun and witty banter that makes it actually a comedy for me, you know?
See, I didn't really care about the characters, which made it hard for me to get into the
You
movie.
gotta care about something.
I didn't care about what they were doing or their motivations or anything like that.
You gotta get invested.
I think the biggest threat in the movie was the cannibal, but he
Yeah, I
got
guess so.
killed pretty much immediately, and that disappointed me.
Yeah, that ended up being kind of nothing. We had the kind of switcheroo thing that they were doing with the fake cannibal assassin with Stephen Root. He was funny. That was good.
He was only in that one scene.
Little cameo for him, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the sequences and the focus on this movie, and they had those weird kind of like slow motion-y fight scenes that they would do.
Weird. I didn't
it
like
would cut
those.
in and out of, where it's sort of like blurry fighting. Reminded me of scenes like in The Matrix for some reason. But they kept doing that. Just gotta accept, hey, this movie's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't get
That's
the point
okay.
of that either. It never really landed for me.
Sure.
It felt just like the director said, okay, I need a signature stylized thing for this movie, and then just picked that.
Exactly, yeah. It felt random.
Yeah, this just wasn't really for me. I got kind of bored. It wasn't as bad as Crime 101 to me, though, because
No.
it was like 90 minutes.
Yeah, I like this movie more than Crime 101 for sure.
Like, it at least didn't just drag on and on and on. It was pretty fast paced.
We didn't get much interaction between the two versions of Vince Vaughn, but those scenes that they were both portrayed in, it seemed to work. None of the scenes looked weird, or the editing wasn't bad or anything like that.
Do you think they sequel baited you?
You know, maybe. They said there's another time machine. It might happen.
They got to go back and save Vince Vaughn, which I will say, it was a little unclear at first, because you turned to me and said, wait, but where's future Vince Vaughn?
Oh yeah, I got lost for a second, because they've got the two Vince Vaughns in the car, future and present one. Present one's been shot and he's fading fast. They get to the hospital and no, he's already dead. And maybe I looked away at the wrong time, anything like that, but future Vince Vaughn like just evaporated. He is no longer even in the seat, nothing there.
I guess I would imagine if he died in the present day, then
That's
he
what they're
couldn't
going
be
for.
a
Yeah.
future version.
I missed that entirely.
But yeah, they weren't 100% clear on that, I guess.
I guess they sort of stayed consistent with their time travel rules, because they did have that one scene earlier in the movie. I had forgotten about this, where I think present Vince Vaughn like stabbed himself with like a needle in the leg, and then the future one had that little scar.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes time travel plots can feel convoluted to me, and this at
Absolutely.
least didn't feel overly confusing or anything.
It followed its own rules. I appreciate that.
I do still think, though, he could have solved this whole problem if he'd just gone back in time.
Definitely.
To not rat out James Marsden instead of just to not get him killed, because you had to kill all those frat guys. You had to
Yeah.
do so much more work.
Yeah.
You endangered your wife, who is pregnant now for some reason.
Yeah, they did that for some
Is
reason.
that supposed to raise the stakes for us?
I suppose it
I
doesn't
guess you
hurt
can't
them.
care about a woman unless she's got a bun in the oven.
You know, I think you nailed it. Otherwise, what is she even there for?
Oof. Yeah, I didn't feel like the person who wrote this movie had ever interacted with a woman before. That's one thing that'll get me with a movie. If I feel like, because none of the women I thought were portrayed well, that knocks a movie down a lot, in my opinion.
But yeah, one, I understood what it was. I appreciated it more. Does not make it the best movie of the year. Don't get me wrong. Therefore, I'm going to say a solid 72. Now, it's not fantastic, but it's not terrible.
So let's see. If I gave Crime 101 a 50, then I'm gonna give this one a 58.
Ooh, not much better. Okay. Why?
No.
Why did you dislike this movie?
I just
What's your
didn't
big
care.
takeaway?
I
Didn't
didn't
care?
care. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like a lot of the shots. I didn't like the fake cat.
This movie almost kind of felt like film school project-y almost. It was weird. It just had a lot of, not conflicting elements, but it all felt random, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, the acting was good. That was all fine.
You mentioned while we were watching the movie that the editing was weird, and I agree, the editing was weird.
It was all over the place. Like I said, when you have drawn out sequences that just end up dragging and then doesn't have any payoffs, you're like, okay, thanks for wasting our time, I guess.
Yeah, it just wasn't great. And I actually do think that editing comment maybe solidifies for me more why this didn't click for me.
Sure. I think James Marsden is funny. He was able to shine a little bit in that.
Yeah.
I'll always be a Cyclops fan.
I, again, didn't really have a problem with the actors. I mean, I don't like Vince Vaughn, but that's more of my personal opinion.
Get him.
But this just, it wasn't for me. And I will preface this, I'm not an action movie person in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this movie is about to convert anyone over to those action movies.
Maybe not. Yeah, I would agree with that.
But maybe if you're already a fan, you might like it more. Again, if you want a funny action movie from this year, I preferred The Wrecking Crew.
Sure.
I thought that movie felt, I guess, funnier, more charismatic.
The action was better.
Story was more interesting. I thought it had a better scene of a guy snorting cocaine.
I thought Keith David, or is it Davids?
Keith David, yeah.
Keith
No,
David,
he's great.
he was good. The guy from American Vandal,
Oh, he was great
who played
too.
his son, he was very good.
He was my favorite.
They gave them this sweet little backstory as like father and son. And again, that didn't really do anything for the overall plot, but I thought it was funny.
It was fun to watch those actors work off of each other.
Yeah, they were both just kind of buffooning around and having a good time. I thought that was good.
Yeah. So our Rotten Tomatoes score,
What do we got? Yeah.
78%.
Okay. More in line with what I thought.
I think that's not worth the hype.
I like this movie. I don't think there's any reason to ever really rewatch it. I don't really think it's worth it at the end of the day.
What was your score again?
72.
72, so a little bit lower than this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, was this a bad movie at the end of the day? No, I had
Not
parts
really.
I did enjoy. Again, would I sit down and say, you know what, we've got to watch?
So this had a 63% audience score, so a
That's
little
more
lower
like
there.
it. That's more like it, yes.
But yeah, not really my thing. Not worth the hype in my
Y'all can skip
opinion.
this one, yeah. On to our final movie.
Yes, our last movie was Cold Storage. This one was definitely my favorite of the three that we watched this weekend.
Agree. Joe Keery strikes again.
Joe Keery's great.
He carries this movie for sure.
He does. He's got his blonde hair and his little howdy tattoo on the side of his neck.
Liam Neeson's randomly in this movie and is actually kind of funny.
Yeah, Liam Neeson and Leslie Manville. They're kind of
They're just sort of there.
scientist people who know all about this zombie fungus.
They're fighting the fungus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's essentially what this movie is about. This evil alien fungus that spreads, and it's being stored in this facility in Kansas, I think they said.
Yeah, it's like an old mining facility. They turned into storage.
And so Joe Keery, his name is Tea Cake.
Yes. They call him Tea Cake throughout. I could not quite grasp it.
Oh, he explained why. And then he has a new coworker played by Georgina Campbell. Her name is Naomi.
She was good.
She was good. And they work as security at this storage facility, but they, of course, don't know about the evil fungus.
It used to be a U.S. military storage facility. They really shouldn't have sold that land, probably. Bad idea.
I guess they were trying to make a point that Liam Neeson is the only one who takes this thing seriously and everyone
Right.
else kind of dismisses him. So maybe that's why.
I think the way Joe Keery's kind of character, his attitude throughout, does match the intended kind of tone of this movie.
I agree.
It's, let's see, not lighthearted. It's not the right way to say it. It's kind of like
It's not
goofy.
this dour, serious
Yeah.
movie. It's a silly concept, and the movie never takes itself too seriously.
Yeah, it's got a couple little horror elements. Got your zombie fungus infecting everything.
The practical effects were cool.
Yeah, the exploding deer infected cats and everything and the way it spread. All well done. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, and there were some scenes that were really gross.
The characters were funny.
Yeah.
I thought our
This
two
one
main
had a CGI cat as well, but this one
good
actually
reason.
made sense.
for good reason. Zombie cat. Our two main characters, I thought they had great chemistry. Liam Neeson just sort of laid on the ground for most of the movie, but
Yeah,
that
he
didn't
threw
stop
out his
him.
back.
He was fun. I kind of imagined it as his character from Naked Gun.
He did kind of have that energy.
I think you nailed it. It's just kind of this fun sci-fi movie. It's not meant to be taken too seriously. Like I said, I think Joe Keery's character kind of sets the tone, and that's what this movie is.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, they have all of these different obstacles they're trying to get through in order to, guess, just survive the night and then later
Pretty
on
much.
detonate the fungus. Because
Oh yeah,
Naomi has this really awful ex who they have a daughter together.
Oh, he was the worst. He was still, no matter what was happening, he was still showing up there with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. And then he gets infected before he can go in and confront her. And then there's a biker gang that Joe Keery has issues with. I believe one of them owns the storage facility.
Right.
And of course, none of them are listening, so they all get infected too.
Immediately, yep.
Vanessa Redgrave is in this movie. She plays a woman who she goes into her storage unit to commit suicide, but instead decides, I'm just gonna take a nap. And then she walks out of the storage unit and is like, what is going on? She gets one cool save and then she's just gone. She's not in the movie anymore.
Oh yeah, I think they just say you can go home now. She
Yeah.
goes, okay, see you next year.
I guess my biggest critique about this movie is I think it took a little bit too long to get into the actual action.
I would agree. We had a whole beginning sequence with how they discover the fungus and all that. That went on maybe a bit too long because it didn't really amount to much. For the movie being called Cold Storage, we don't really see any kind of actual cold storage. We get a few scenes of the kind of central, I guess, cage where this fungus is being kept, but it's otherwise kind of just in the tunnels and stuff.
Yeah, they're
in this
mostly running
facility.
around in the storage unit hallways.
Pretty much, yeah. And then they detonate a nuke underneath the ground and just kind of drive away. And I love it when they just outdrive the shockwave of the nuclear explosion.
Yeah, I will say I never thought this was going to be the kind of movie where the main characters don't make it.
They're all getting cancer from all that radiation, no doubt.
That's probably true. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought they were all going to get blowed up. But no, they made it.
They did make it, and then it seems like at the end, you know,
Maybe the fungus will come back. Who knows?
yes, the fungus might come back. Do you think they sequel baited?
A little bit, because you saw another one of the infected deer, and it froze up all over the screen. I think they might try to make another one. Do you
We'll
think they can
see.
get Joe Keery back for another one of these?
They could probably get Joe Keery back.
Maybe. Okay.
It ended with Joe Keery and Georgina Campbell. They seem to be together now, playing with her daughter because the daughter's dad got blown up by the fungus, but no one really seems to care. That dude
Oh, no, he was the
sucked.
worst.
So he was literally going to her job because he was freaked out because he shot his parents' cat. What kind of person is going around shooting cats?
Well, he didn't think it was loaded.
So this man with a child just likes to play around with guns.
Obviously. Sometimes you just want to pull the trigger. It's not my fault it was loaded.
And then he's going to take the gun to his ex when he's obviously in a heated and charged mood.
Oh, this man was very drunk.
Isn't it great that that man had a gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, it was pretty fun overall.
Yeah, I had a good time. It was enjoyable. It didn't do anything special, I guess. Was
Yeah.
it the most unique movie in the world? No, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I was entertained throughout. It was a
Yeah.
good, just kind of popcorn movie, I guess.
Maybe in a better week of movies, I wouldn't have liked this that much. But
You're
after
right.
watching Crime 101
This was my favorite.
and Mike and Nick and Alice, I thought this one was really good. It wasn't fantastic to me, but it was good.
I just like they have Liam Neeson running around for some reason. But you know what? He can do whatever.
Yeah, he's at that point in his career. He's earned it. I'm sure he
No
got
doubt.
paid a lot of money.
No doubt. But yeah, I like this movie. I'd say it is worth the hype. I am going to give it, it's just across that mark, 81%.
81%. I'm going to give this like a 76%.
Is this like the perfect movie? Of course not. But it's not bad if you just want to see something to watch on Friday night, you're bored, anything like that. Pop it on. It's not a bad time.
The Rotten Tomatoes score,
Hit me.
80%.
Oh, I was close.
You were close.
I was so close. I felt it.
So yeah.
I was vibing with this movie.
I think that's close enough. I'd say it's worth the hype. It's not
Yeah.
going to be a bad time.
Check it out. A lot of folk might like this.
Yeah, might as well.
That was our week.
That was our week. I guess to wrap things up, my favorite movie was Cold Storage. My
Same.
least favorite movie was Crime 101.
I would say that as well. Crime 101 did the worst crime you can do as a movie. It was just boring. It didn't really tell you all that much. The worst thing is you kind of wasted your really good actors. And I think that's some of the worst takes you can do. Nick and Vincent Vaughn was fine. It's kind of ridiculous, and I think it is outshone by Cold Storage because I think you have better use of main characters in Cold Storage.
Mm-hmm.
And better kind of chemistry and interactions. But I feel like those two movies are sort of similar.
I guess, yeah, in tone, it's not so self-serious because Crime 101 was so serious.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it was taking itself so seriously. Again, I feel like Joe Keery's been in enough stuff that's ridiculous. He knows how to carry it where it's like, I know what I'm saying is ridiculous, and I'm channeling that into my performance.
Exactly. And Cold Storage, I think, was the most cohesive of the movies we watched.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I get that.
None of the camera work or the editing ever felt out of
It
place.
was actually shot well, and yeah, like you said, the editing all did make sense. I could tell what was going on.
Yeah, I thought some of the effects, at some points, the CGI animal effects didn't look the most realistic, but I forgive it. I don't think this movie had a gigantic budget.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's our week.
Did it? Not a bad start. Not at all. We had a couple, interesting scenes at least.
I think we've had better weeks. I'm just not an action movie girl.
There's the good in every movie.
Every movie?
Well, maybe not. Looking at you, Pavement.
Starring Joe Keery.
You know what? Never mind. There's good things in every movie. I'm right.
I did think Joe Keery was the best part of Pavements. But yeah, we'll see what we get next week. I am hoping for a bit of an action movie reprieve. It's not my favorite genre.
We might be in the post-Oscars lull for a bit.
I think
That's
so.
okay. Gives us time to keep an eye out for what the new buzz is on any of the big upcoming movies. We've got to get ready for The Odyssey and the adventure we're going on that.
I don't think The Odyssey looks very good.
I am concerned.
I think Christopher Nolan is on a hot streak and he's due to have a bad movie.
It could be great for all I know. Just from the stills we're seeing, it looks dumb. Can't help it.
Hopefully they'll see the reaction and maybe, I don't know, fix something in post.
Maybe. When's that coming out even?
I think it's going to be a big summer release.
Okay. Any other big releases upcoming that you're aware of? I'm not aware of nothing.
Honestly, not really. I know that there are a lot of big movies coming out this year, but I don't know exactly when they're getting released. I don't think that's been finalized for
I
a lot
guess
of big players yet.
next thing I'm looking forward to, Dune 3, baby.
Oh yeah, that's coming out this year, isn't it?
Let's go, wrapping it up.
I guess recent movies, the drama looks fun.
It does actually. The trailer we watched really piqued my interest.
And Zendaya is in all 3 of the movies we just talked about.
There you go.
She's having a great year.
Keep him busy. And unfortunately, we have to see Zendaya again in something else upcoming.
Unfortunately.
I am so upset.
Oh, Euphoria.
I am so upset. Season 3.
Season 3 of Euphoria, yes.
It is real.
We're gonna watch it.
We have to watch it. I am upset. I had to suffer through The Idol.
I maintain
And I'm
that
worried.
season 1 of Euphoria is pretty decent. It has a lot of good things about it, but then season 2 goes off the rails because Sam Levinson says, I don't need a writer's room. I don't need other people to direct on this.
So do you think season 2 is better than season 1?
No, season 1's way better than season 2.
Okay.
Because season 1 had other writers and directors to kind of rein everything in.
So
it's
overall,
the Amy Simet situation all over
Euphoria
again.
is just like, it's okay, but it's flashy.
I like
and
flashy
fun.
things.
It's true. It's true. We'll see how flashy this season. I'm gonna be yelling at the TV a lot. I know it.
At this point, it's almost like a train wreck you can't look away from. And so that's why I want to watch it at this point. And Zendaya is always really great. She's won 2 Emmys for it. So
Yeah, no doubt everyone will do a good job. I have no doubt about that.
with some exceptions.
Oh, yes.
They've
Oh,
got an
yes.
Oscar nominee in the cast now. That
do.
whole cast, they're going to be so excited to be out of that contract that they signed in like 2017.
Do you think they'll try to do a season 4 if this one does numbers?
Oh, yeah. I've heard that the head of HBO has already been talking about a season 4 because this show does such big numbers. Like, that's a lot of money you're leaving on the table. I don't think the cast will come back, though. I think they'll have to either focus on more side characters who will agree to come back or just completely recast and revamp.
Maybe we can do just a little bit of a retcon. Bring back Ashtray. Hear me out.
I'd be okay with that.
We don't know he's dead for sure. And I'm sure there is enough footage of Angus still around. He's still coming out in movies somehow. I'm sure he's going to show up in a movie this year. He's been dead for 10 years.
I think we've ended that, even though I think he showed up in like 3 movies we watched last year.
I'm sure at least
which was a
3
welcome
times
surprise.
I said, like, how's he in something else? Good
You
for him.
loved some Ashtray.
Oh, absolutely. Ashtray was the standout performance of all of Euphoria. He will return in spirit.
I don't think
if not in
Ashtray
flesh.
is gonna return.
In that scene where that bush catches on fire in front of Rue, that's Ashtray.
That's Ashtray.
Being summoned from hell.
No, that's like Moses and the burning bush, and God talks to Moses like from the burning bush.
That's
Ashtray is talking to Rue through a burning bush, just as God would. Because it seems like from the trailers this season, Rue is finding the Lord.
How boring. Go off the rails.
Sam Levinson must have
Relapse.
had a religious experience because I really think that character is based on him.
Ooh. This all makes me unhappy. I am worried it's going to be terrible. It's going to be so terrible that I'm going to enjoy it because it's going to be just like, it's going to be Twisted, and I'm learning to love Twisted. You already love Twisted.
I do.
And I'm just going to be just going, what the hell, the entire time, but I won't be able to look away. You're right. This is going to be a train wreck named Euphoria. I'm triggered.
This
I'm
is why
exhausted
I'm so
already.
excited.
I'm exhausted already.
Because no matter what, it's going to provoke a strong emotional reaction, and that excites me.
I'm going to punch the TV.
If you punch my TV.
A TV.
Okay.
Not this TV.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Well, now that we've rambled on about Euphoria for a little bit, it comes out this weekend, so pretty timely.
Pray for us.
Well, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
So long.